Good morning. I am Vickie O'Doherty, a member of the Worship Committee of UU Catskills. Our minister is the Reverend Bob Janice Dillon. We welcome friends, guests, and members to our online service. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. At UU Catskills, we are a welcoming congregation for the LGBTQ community. We affirm that Black Lives Matter. We are a congregational affiliate of the Ulster Immigrant Defense Network, and we are active voices in the effort to address climate change. Unitarian Universalism is a liberal religious faith that carries no creed and welcomes all seekers. We are guided by 7 principles and 6 sources that encompass the many ways that we come to know and understand the world, the universe, and the divine. If you are new, we encourage you to visit our website at uucatskills.org. If you would like to be added to our mailing list, please give us your email in the chat box or online at uucatskills.org. I remind everyone that during the service, you are encouraged to stay muted. I have a few announcements, and please be sure to read our newsletter for the upcoming activities at UU Catskills. Next Sunday, September 19th, will be our water communion service with our pastor, Reverend Bob Janice Dillon. You're encouraged to bring water that has some meaning to you. We will be reflecting on our connections to water throughout the service. This is planned as an outdoor service and picnic at the sanctuary grounds on Sawkill Road. To sign up for attending in person in the sanctuary in case of rain, please contact Pat Hurst. The service will also be Zoomed for those at home. For contact information, refer to your newsletter. The young adult group will hold an outdoor meeting on Sunday, September 26th from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. Please reach out to Erin Hilgart if you or someone you know is interested in joining us. The Buddha Cats are organizing a small group ministry to read Anam Thubten's Embracing Each Moment. They will meet on Zoom from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on the first and third Mondays of October, November, and December to discuss reactions to the book. If you would like to participate in this ongoing discussion, please contact Karen Wicks-Lindsay at kwixlindsay@gmail.com. No previous knowledge of Buddhism is necessary. The Racial Justice Working Group will not be meeting in September. Look for information in the October newsletter or in weekly updates. After the service today, we invite you to stay and join one of our breakout rooms where we meet to have virtual coffee and socialize. Visitors are welcome. Also, we will not have a breakout room for our children's chapel. So welcome to UU Catskills. Let us join together in creating a sacred space for our worship together. Thank you, Bill. If you have a chalice, please light it as I light mine. Join in our chalice lighting words, which will be on the screen. We light this chalice in grateful, loving community, even in the darkest of times. May its flame light pass to courage, justice, and hope. And please join me in our Unison Affirmation. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and aspire to bring our gifts of love to all living beings. May we know once again that we are not isolated, but connected in wonder and joy to mystery and miracle in the universe, in this community, and in each other. Our climate change words today are by Tom Engelhardt. Rooftop by rooftop, we're aiming for a different world, one that runs on the renewable power that people produce themselves in their communities in small but significant batches. The movement that will get us to such a new world must run on that kind of power too, small but significant batches. Our opening words are from Let Astonishment Be Possible by Reverend Gretchen Haley. Whatever you have come in anticipating, whatever you expect or worry for our world, for the future, for our lives, let it go. Make space in your heart to be surprised. Make room in your soul for a new story to take shape. Let astonishment be possible at this life that remains a miracle. Imagine here the bursting of joy. Welcome to this place of possibility. Please join in singing our hymn, Morning Has Come. The words will be on your screen. Our story today is called What Do You Do with a Chance? By Kobe Yamada and May Besson. Then this, what do you do with a chance? One day I got a chance. It just seemed to show up. It acted like it knew me, as if it wanted something. I didn't know why it was there. What do you do with a chance, I wondered. It fluttered around. It brushed up against me. It circled me as if it wanted me to grab it. I started to reach for it, but I was unsure and pulled back. And so it flew away. I thought about it a lot. I wished I had taken my chance. I realized I had wanted it, but I still didn't know if I had the courage to take a chance. When another chance came around, I wasn't so sure, but I decided to try. I went to reach for it, but I missed and fell. I was embarrassed. I felt foolish. It seemed like everyone was looking at me. I decided I never wanted to feel this way again. So after that, whenever a chance came, I ignored it. And the more I ignored them, the less they came. Until one day I noticed that I hadn't seen a chance in quite a while. It was as if they had all disappeared. I started to worry. What if I don't get another chance? I know I acted like I didn't care, but the truth was I did care. I still wanted to take a chance, but I was afraid. And I wasn't sure if I would ever be brave enough. Then I thought, maybe I don't have to be brave all the time. Maybe I just need to be brave for a little while at the right time. I realized it was up to me. I promised myself that if I ever got another chance, I wasn't going to hold back. If I got another chance, I was going to be ready. Then, one seemingly ordinary day, I saw something shining far off in the distance. Is it possible? I hoped. Could this be my chance? Whoops, over there. I had to find out. I ran as hard and as fast as I could toward it. I don't know how to explain it, but the second I let go of my fears, I was full of excitement. It wasn't that I was no longer afraid, but I know my excitement was bigger than my fear. As I got closer, I could see that this was a really huge chance, really big. There it is. But this time, I was ready. As it came by, I reached out and grabbed it. I held on with all my might. It felt so good to soar, to fly, to be free. I now see that when I hold back, I miss out. And I don't want to miss out. There's just so much I want to see and do and discover. So, what do you do with a chance? You take it because it just might be the start of something incredible. And that's my story for today. Our words of meditation and compassion are from To Ask What's Possible, as written by Reverend Sarah Lowell. Spirit of life and love, holy mystery, may we hear the voice within calling us to ask what's possible, to walk to the edge, to shed the fear and need for control, and dance with the infinite for a while. May we set down the list of wrongs and hurts and see obstacles as invitations for innovation, beckoning our creativity. May we hear each other's voices of love and encouragement. May we hear the cries of the world asking us, who do we choose to be? May we be vessels of comfort and compassion. May we be vessels of hope and healing. May we be vessels of peace and justice. May love prevail. In the name of all that is holy, we pray. Amen. I ask that you be still for a moment of silent contemplation. Our reading is from the poem, The Hill We Climb, by Amanda Gorman, National Poet Laureate and the youngest inaugural poet in US history. Every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will rise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge, battered and beautiful. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it. If only we're brave enough to be it. For our offering today, we are sharing our plate with the Center for Creative Education. The mission of the Center for Creative Education is to enrich the social and cultural awareness of our youth and community through arts, wellness, and education. You'll see on the screen that there are several ways to contribute to UU Catskills for our plate this morning. You may donate by texting to the number given or by going online to uucatskills.org or by using the phone app Give Plus. You can also mail your donation to our office address. For our offertory, we have music written and performed by James Underberg. The title of his music is The Journey Becomes Our Home.
When the ground drops out from under you and there's nothing there to hold on to, no, you're not the first to fall right through to a space of mystery, a place of questioning who you are and who you're meant to be. When you can't find home where it used to be, and your roots have faded into memory, no, you're not alone in this new reality. It's a well-trod path traveled by ancestors who came before and show the way. Throughout time, we've been pushed into the dark, called to find the light within our broken hearts and let it shine. And we can't do it on our own, gotta find our family in the unknown. And side by side we'll go by, stepping stone till the journey becomes our home. Some days it feels like searching for water in the sand. Sometimes it feels like falling with nowhere to land. Yeah, there are ups and downs that'll turn you round and round. We come back to the footprints, they're all around. And throughout time, we've been pushed into the dark, called to find the light within our broken hearts and let it shine. And we can't do it on our own, gotta find our family in the unknown. And side by side we'll go by, stepping stone till the journey becomes our home. When the walls are closing in, we find our way out through the door into a light that's so much brighter than our hearts have known before. When we heed the call to follow the voice that burns within our core, we join the ranks of seekers, wanderers, and warriors of the soul. And throughout time, we've been pushed into the dark, called to find. Throughout time, we've been pushed into the dark, called to find the light within our broken hearts and let it shine. And we can't do it on our own, gotta find our family in the unknown. And side by side we'll go by, stepping stone till the journey becomes, yes, the journey becomes our home.
Our sermon today is called A Blessing for Beginning. It was written by and preached at Boise UU Fellowship, Boise, Idaho UU Fellowship, in September 2015 by the Reverend Sarah Lawal. It is, of course, from that pre-COVID time period, but I think it still is applicable to today. I've been using the Book of Blessings by poet-author John O'Donohue for much of my spiritual reflection this summer, and I cannot put it down. His words sing off the page and into my heart. They have made me think about life differently, with even greater reverence and reflection. Not only does O'Donohue suggest that anyone can give a blessing, he also shares that blessing can be a way of life, a lens through which the whole world is transformed. He writes this: in the parched desert of postmodernity, a blessing can be like the discovery of a fresh well. It would be lovely if we could rediscover our power to bless one another. I believe each of us can bless. When a blessing is invoked, it changes the atmosphere. Some of the plenitude flows into our hearts from the invisible neighborhood of loving kindness. Hear that again. Some of the plenitude flows into our hearts from the invisible neighborhood of loving kindness. And now the moment is here. We are beginning together. And I don't want to get so swept up in the work and busyness of church life, in goals, agendas, forms, and policies, in reports and meetings, that we forget to honor, celebrate, and bless this moment of beginning. Because a new beginning is one of those moments when life shifts, when we embark on a new path, however slight, and find ourselves in new territory, navigating new changes and the unknown. These moments are what John O'Donohue calls life's thresholds. These thresholds are not just big moments. They include all the small, sometimes overlooked moments of life too. Moments like absence, belonging, beauty, loneliness, sharing a meal, or just waking up in the morning. These thresholds, these states of our heart often cry out for a blessing. But we UUs are not used to this practice. We might feel some resistance to this concept. We don't bless every moment of life. We might feel, we don't bless every moment of life. That's for other people. But remember, anyone can give a blessing. O'Donohue's point is that blessing creates a deeper connection and greater expansiveness in our lives. And it is a learned practice. And when we take the time to do it, we often change our experience of that tenuous, unfamiliar territory into one of invitation, where the blessing serves as a ritual to protect, encourage, and guide us as we cross over into the new and unknown. The beauty of beginnings is that they are ever present. Not only are we embarking on a new beginning together, our individual lives are full of beginnings. New jobs, new family members, new leadership positions. Maybe you've even taken up a new hobby. Our national and global consciousness also seems to be at the precipice of a new beginning. Between the Black Lives Matter movement calling us to examine our identities and deeply held systemic prejudices, to the refugee crisis pushing us to ask what it means to truly welcome the stranger, to moving forward with marriage equality fully legal. Life is always presenting us with the opportunity to begin again. It is fitting to be talking about beginnings at this time of year, during the Jewish High Holy Days. We are in the middle of the days of awe, the 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, when Jews are invited into a time of introspection. They examine where they've gotten off track, who they've wronged, and begin the process of reconciliation and atonement. before their names are sealed into one of God's books. All of this inner work is done so that they can honor their mistakes, seek and give forgiveness, and begin again in a whole new year with a clean slate. And yet, beginning is one of the hardest things to do. My Jewish grandmother would say that even the most devout Jew might have a hard time wiping the slate totally clean, and that we all schlep some leftover guilt and doubt with us into every new beginning. There is an old adage that says the hardest part of beginning is to begin. We often put up many barriers to just taking the first step. As a youth, I was one who always liked to know the expectations and desired outcomes first. I was often reluctant to try something new unless I knew I would be good at it, that I could guarantee some moderate success. I wanted a roadmap and strategies and benchmarks and a plan. Now, I am not saying these things are not important. They are great tools we ought to employ. But I had allowed myself to use them as a crutch. They became blinders to exploration and experimentation, to awe and wonder, to discovering the tiny hidden path and not just wondering where it leads, but taking it to find out. I clung to the fallacy of the right way because I did not want to mess up. Who does, really? I had somehow allowed myself to believe that messing up meant failure and beginning right with a capital R was the only path to success. And yet, I know that messing up is critical to success. All the famously successful people will tell you they learned far more from their failures than from their successes. There exists this tension in beginning between the playful, childlike enthusiasms for new there, full of energy, excitement, and new ideas on the one hand, and deep-seated conspiratorial fears on the other hand. Fears of failure and isolation, fears that we will mess up, that we will get hurt, and that others will disappoint us. These fears pull at us to remain within safe boundaries and stay the same. But here is one of those truths I know for sure. Whether we begin or not, we cannot stay the same. And we will mess up. We just will. And people will disappoint us, and we will get hurt. I'm here to tell you that I, your minister, will mess up. I will probably disappoint you at some point. Yes, even here where we aspire to be a beloved community, because here is one of the safe spaces when we are working out what it means to be human. And I don't think any one of us has that 100% figured out. And this working on being human stuff gets messy and scary sometimes. So you often have this tendency to play it safe. The question then becomes, what do we do in those moments? How might we find the blessing even in the mess, disappointment, and failure? When we give up on those moments of playing it safe and allowing expectations and outcomes and hurt and disappointment to become blinders is learning and joy. We give up a freedom to step outside the moment and ask ourselves, what did we learn from this mess up? And then change our course and begin again without judgment. Instead, we tend to assign blame and we try to fix it when we might just as easily step back and say, wow, that didn't work. Or I really screwed that up. I wonder what we might have done differently next time, might do differently next time. And just notice, learn, adjust, and even laugh and begin again. Let's not overlook laughter and fun as important tools for business and for success. So what happens if we let go of the idea that beginnings are inherently risky and instead make risk our greatest ally? If we embrace the risk, what changes? What new approaches and opportunities open for us? That is where the blessing comes in. A blessing by its very form is invitational. often using the language of may we, may I. In a blessing, we are invited to be changed by the risk. We name the creative possibilities above the obstacles. And by virtue of it being a blessing, we are ritualizing the moment, assigning it spiritual significance, lifting out of the ordinary time to say, this moment means something. It is bigger than any individual self. That is the beauty of being part of a faith community like this one. We give ourselves permission to take life's thresholds, the ordinary and the extraordinary, the momentous and the mundane, and even the messy, and fill them with meaning, with affirmation, with sacredness, with blessing. This is my hope for us as a faith community, that the blessings we offer each other today and beyond can fit into any moment if we create the space for it. These blessings invite us into a beginning full of creative possibilities, playfulness, and experimentation. Into a beginning full of laughter, joy, and fun. And most of all, of forgiveness and compassion when we mess up, with permission to begin again and again. So, my friends, here are the words of a blessing. It's called For a New Beginning by John O'Donohue. In out-of-the-way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly formed, waiting until you are ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness grow inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent. Wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight, when your courage kindled and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again, with energy and dream, a path of plenitude open before you. Though your destination is not clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning. That is one of your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. May it be so. Amen. Please join in singing our hymn, There Is More Love Somewhere. It's an African-American hymn as sung by Jess Huterman. Follow the words that are on your screen.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is
Our closing words are by Michael A. Schuler. We have reached the end of this time for letting the imagination play with future possibilities. Shall it be concluded then? Or will this adventure, now commenced, continue? In your hearts lies the answer. Join me in saying the words on the screen as we extinguish our chalices. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this